Welcome to Wrinkles Society of Hope. If this is your first time, welcome. And if you are returning, thank you so much for continuing to support Wrinkles. Today, you are going to hear an amazing story from one of our Wrinkles women. And if you would like, please hit subscribe and share our Wrinkles channel. Hit that notification bell so you can hear about the new stories that come forward. And we are also on Apple Podcasts and we are on Spotify. So you can listen in if you're unable to view the YouTube channel. I'm so happy you're here and I hope I get an interview with you. Hello, Wrinkles family. I am so excited. I met this amazing, beautiful woman when I spoke for the, mammogram and mimosas. And her energy entered the room as soon as she came through the door and we just linked up. And I am so blessed to have her here to share with the Wrinkles family today. So I'm gonna have her introduce herself to you all.
Hello, my name is Lenora Smith. I am a relationship and developmental life coach at Life with Lenora.
Love it, love it. And we know we all need that kind of life coaching. We need that counseling in our lives. So I just definitely had to have her here. We got the holidays coming up. We got relationships that's been through some things. And always good to have someone in your pocket that can navigate you through some of those times in life, correct?
Yes, definitely.
Yes. As we navigate through this life, though, we have some, as we spoke about earlier, some physical things that change and kind of bump us through. Can you share a physical change or a little thing that you have to navigate through yourself? And how did you feel about that?
I guess for me, early on in life, when I was younger, I had a coronary thing that happened with me quite early in my 30s. I have what they call a arterial spasm. And I guess for the audience that don't know what that is, that's a tightening of the muscle wall. And so I was working, and all my life I've been like a workaholic. And so I knew early on as a youngster, I would have like some issues where I wasn't always able to play as much as the kids, but whatever. But at this particular time working, I experienced some chest pains and didn't want to go to the emergency room. And, I just thought it was, just something, us as women, we're used to, going on with our day or what have you. So they called my mom. We worked at the same job, but she worked night shift and I worked day shift. So they called my mom to come get me, and I knew she was going to fuss, but she come on and got me anyway. And she fussed all the way back to our hometown, which was about 30 minutes from where we both worked at. And she took me to the emergency room, and they told her at that time that I had a heart attack. And so during the examination and everything, they said that it appeared that it wasn't my first one. And so that was definitely a shock to me. I think I was 31 at the time. Yeah, maybe right before my 31st birthday. And so that was definitely a shock to me. So, yeah.
What changes did you have to make when that happened? I mean, how did that impact you emotionally at that time?
It was a lot to think that at that age and, working, raising kids, married already, at the time, you just really think, is my body failing me? What is it that I can't do? Changing eating habits. You used to, eating whatever you want to eat, going wherever you want to go. I'm reading, everything. I think maybe a month before I was just diagnosed with, high blood pressure. So I'm already starting to, watch my salt intake. that sort of thing. But really, just really thought as a young person, what is it that I can't do? And having to tell those friends at that particular time that I was around that if something was to happen, call, my mom or call my husband. And so that was really difficult. But then, because I had people looking at me funny, like, is she okay? Has she stopped breathing? If she goes to the bathroom, did she come right back? That sort of thing. So that was really difficult to deal with. Like, is she okay? And I'm thinking, I'm fine. Because I didn't have to have any surgery. I had no blockages. So God was really, really good. And I've been fine since then. Like a picture of health, really. So that was really, really hard to deal with. That was the hardest part.
Health is something. Health is wealth, and especially being young when you have something, because we're so, when you're at that age, 30s, 20s,
Mm-hmm.
you're just used to just like, oh, nothing's gonna hit
Right.
me.
You're in you can't nothing stop you. You think, you can go and do everything, So that was, like I said, that was the hardest part, to think that now I'm breakable. you know?
Love it. Yes, yes. I mean, and then you have the physical changes. Then later on in life, can you talk about something that was emotionally that you had to press through, a wrinkle?
Um, I guess I married early in life. I was married by the time I was 20, and just experiencing divorce. Um, and the shame around, raising kids, by yourself. You have because we had a lot of things, early. We had, home and, 2 cars and, kids. We acquired a lot. We worked a lot. So, doing those things, and you think, what am I going to do? So that to me was a lot. How do you deal with the shame of divorce? And you have, like you said, to have the kids, to raise. You feel like you don't have the support. Who do you have to talk to? Who's going through this at such a young age? And then you have the physical, thing. So you think, who's going to love you? With this going on, who can you tell? Who can you talk to? So I think that's where what I do now was birthed, out of that. You need someone to talk to about the things that you're going through at such a young, age. That just really wasn't, to me, I felt like available as a Black woman, dealing with those physical things, and then having to go through a divorce.
Yeah, that's
By what, 35, I think.
Oh, okay. I was about to ask how old.
Yeah.
So right after you had the heart and going through that physical scare,
Mm-hmm.
then right after that, it sounds like then you had to go through that emotional breaking.
Right.
How did you press through those moments? I mean, being so close, being so young, how did you press through those moments?
Definitely having a foundation of faith, being raised in the church. You probably hear that a lot, be like, oh, I'm raised in the church and this, that, and other. But I've always been, one, I guess to say, when my grandmother drugged me to church, I was that, that child. And Yeah, when I look back and think, if not having that time where I, went to church and having that, community, and not so much less, to talk about those things, but spending that time in church where you had something else to do. You had somewhere else to go to take your mind off of it, because you really didn't, in a sense, talk about those things, but it was just being occupied. I can definitely say just being occupied where I sang in the choir, where I, went to Bible study, went vacation Bible school. It was something else to do, but not where you had a community where you talked about those those things and be like, oh, child, just pray about it. It was that type of environment,
Yeah.
but it was just being occupied with something else. And like I said, I think with what it is that I do now is definitely talking about the topics, having the conversation, and not just going there and sitting there with your mouth closed, type of thing that we do.
I think it's more and more in our society that people need to learn that it's okay to feel what you feel.
That part.
Of course, growing up in a Christian foundation, sometimes it is, pray about it. Prayer get you through everything. I always live by pray until something happens,
Right.
And then you get to a point you're still down there praying and you're like, okay, wait a minute.
Ain't nothing happening.
Yeah, I'm not feeling any better.
Right.
I'm still upset about whatever situation I'm going through. So tell me, the person, that you are now, what advice would you give someone or yourself looking back? What advice would you give?
Do it afraid. It was just sometimes that, my fear kept me from, doing a lot of things. I went to, college late in life. Someone told me, my husband, told me to wait, go, don't go now. We don't have the finances now, or it's not a good time, or this, that, and the other. And I wished I would have went, at that time, and just, worked it out. A lot of my wait till a better time, kept me from doing, some things. Go, it'll work out. It'll be okay. Because he did everything he wanted to do. Don't get me started. But just do the things, So I put a lot of things on hold. And I think some of that seeded in, maybe I wasn't, good enough, or I put a lot of things, before me. And I'm important, I'm worth it. It's going to be okay. I matter. So that's what I would tell, that girl, that it's okay. It's going to be okay. It's going to be okay, because everything in my life has worked out. But I waited on a lot of stuff.
Yeah. Can we speak about that as women? How we wait on stuff? We wait because we care and take care of so many other people.
Yeah. Yeah, we WAIT, and the weight gets heavier, that's double, that double. Weight gets heavier because of the weight, and we can just go ahead and do it. It's going to be okay. If you have that faith that we speak about, it's going to be okay. We have to know that it's going to be okay. And again, what I do in my counseling and my coaching, I want to let, people know, believe in yourself. It's going to be okay. It absolutely will. If you have that faith that you say in yourself and your creator, the God that you serve, it's absolutely going to be okay.
Yes, it is. Yeah. Yes, it is. And now that you know it's okay, let's say you got a shirt made. And it defined the woman that you are today, the woman that didn't wait and took off the weight. What would that shirt say?
I think the first shirt that I had made for a brunch that I had last year with my business was trust the process. And it speaks like volumes for a lot of the stuff that I do. And, I tell my clients that, and just trust, the process. Whatever it is that you want to do, trust the process. Trust the God that you serve. I come out here with my belongings in the back of my car because I heard God say, trust the process, trust me. And every time it gets a little hard, I have to remind myself that he says, trust the process, trust me. And, didn't say it was going to be easy, but just trust me. Nothing says it's going to be easy. Just trust the process.
Yes,
Believe in yourself and just trust.
I love that. Trust the process for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. And now that you spoke on something, and I was kind of like, what? So you said you came here. What was that about?
Oh. I'm originally from Murfreesboro, Tennessee. I lived in Memphis for 9 years. And my oldest son lived here for a couple of years before I moved here. And when I moved out here, didn't have a job. And I sold some stuff, a lot of stuff. Before moving here, I packed what I could inside of my car and prayed about it before I came. And again, the Lord told me trust. Moved out on an assignment. It was just like go and see, taste and see. And tell me to trust. And I think I had seen Arizona in a vision, prior to my son ever, moving out here. So I felt like this is where I needed, to be, whether it was, business. I don't think I seen love here, but nevertheless, it might come to me. But yeah, packed my car full. It was weighted down. A girlfriend helped me move out here. We drove out here. And like I said, every time I think it gets a little hard. And I've not been disappointed. I tell people, I said, I see something new every day. I've been here since 2018. This month it's been, 5 years that I moved here. So thank you for doing this interview. It's come full circle. But yes, it says trust the process. So that carries weight for me, weight again. And I've been trusting him to show me what's inside of me, the path that he has me on, what that assignment is, whether it's here, wherever he takes me to next. And what he's developing me into. It is something new. I'm not done. And so I had a birthday and I just turned 54. And, sometimes we think it's supposed to happen by a certain time. And I'm thinking, I'm not done yet. So just keep your eye on me. So
you are definitely not done. And that is amazing. That is amazing to trust that process. Mm-hmm. So as you trust the process, you came here to Arizona desert. And now what are you doing in this mighty desert? What are you doing in this community?
I've been a counselor and life coach almost 20 years now. Maybe it's 20. I've lost count. And I feel like it's brand new. I'm learning how to do business out here in these social media streets. It's mean. And so I am, it feels brand new. I love what I do. And so I'm trying to create a space that people can talk about what's going on with them, and help other people, because in our culture is like what happens in our house stays in our house. And so actually what's going on in your house probably is happening next door, across the street, down the street, on the other side of town. And so if we would just talk about it, we might actually help someone survive a little bit better, get through it, And because we can't always talk to our parents, we can't always talk to our caregivers. And if we would just kind of, build that sisterhood, there's nothing like a sister. There's nothing like a friend. And also because I'm raising two beautiful young men, and I hope I've let them know that it's okay to come and talk to me about anything that's going on, that our men won't suffer as well, because they suffer too much in silence. I've lost a brother and an uncle to suicide, and we have to absolutely stop that. And so I'm on a quest to let people know that conversations are healthy. Conversations save lives. And if we can open up and talk to each other, that we can absolutely build healthier families, healthier individuals, and healthier communities. And so that's what I'm looking to do with my work. So, yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, tell people how they can connect with you, how you can help them. How can they get support?
You can find me on Instagram at life_with_Lenore. And I am also on Facebook under More Inside Counseling. And I can be reached at info@More Inside Coaching. I think that's everything. Yeah. More, if it's not confusing enough, that's it.
Well, as you see these links coming across, the best thing that you said is that conversation. We need that conversation more and more, like you said, especially in our community. It's been for many years that you do keep those things inside your house. Mm-hmm. You don't share, but more and more we are hearing about people ending their lives too soon because they're not having conversation and support. Right. So I thank you for what you do in this community because it's needed. It's definitely needed.
Yes.
Yes. So make sure you link up and get some support. Get some support. And we definitely want people to know that it's okay to feel what you're feeling, but it's always good to have a conversation about those feelings.
Definitely.
Right. Definitely. So anything else you have to share?
Yes, me and my team, we're looking to put together a workshop that we're hoping to have on September the 9th. You can definitely find those links to purchase a ticket on my website. We're hoping to have that live here by this weekend. So definitely look for that on my pages, and that should be also live on Eventbrite. So definitely look for that to be advertised here this weekend. And so, but also, thank you so much for this opportunity. I love the work that you're doing on the Wrinkles Society. So thank you. Thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you for coming. I'm so excited. And also go to wrinklessocietyhope.org. Look for this beautiful woman's face. And then there's a link that will take you to one of her social media pages. So that way you can also keep up with what she's doing and also connect with her. So you can have that conversation. So you can get the support that you need as well. So I'm so happy you came today.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. We have to have you back again when we have some conversations again about mental health and the importance of that. And of course, anything new that you're doing, we are going to share that with Wrinkles. So thank you so much for coming today.
Thank you for having me again. God bless your business.
Thank you. Bye, Wrinkles.